We're going to talk a little bit about South Korea now. As justice is sought for Do Kwon, South Korea's crypto scene, believe it or not, is emerging from Terra Luna's shadow. And Emily, right here, has been breaking down what's happening in the country for us. In fact, she was there in South Korea. She's written an article that we're going to just put up on the screen. Just tell us first, what did you set out to achieve in this article, investigate in this article, find out in this article, and what did you come back with?
Thanks. So with all that's been going on in the crypto world, especially in the US, you could almost forget about Terra Luna, right? Because it was kind of like the beginning of a long cycle of crypto crashes, and there's been so much focus on everything that's happened since then. In Korea, however, I think Terra Luna had a very special significance that I don't think people are completely aware of, just in terms of the impact that it had on the market, on regulation, on the crypto community. Now, Terra Luna was not actually based there, it was based in Singapore, but Do Kwon is Korean, and right now the U.S. and Korea are both kind of like looking to go after him legally. But when I went to Korea and I talked to the Korean community, it really struck me how profound an impact the downfall of Terra Luna and Do Kwon had on the local crypto scene for various reasons. And I think that's just a story that people aren't completely aware of outside of Korea.
Yeah, and just tell us a little bit about the DNA of a South Korean investor and how that played into your story and how they see Do Kwon, what they think he should be, going through in terms of justice in the US and South Korea. Just tell us a little bit about that.
Well, so what I heard is that, and again, just as somewhat anecdotal, but at least among some people in the crypto community, they actually want Do Kwon to be tried in the United States because they believe that the penalty will be harsher there. And that kind of gets to why is some people in the Korean crypto community so angry about Do Kwon? And I think there's a bunch of reasons. I think hopes were so high for this project. This was somebody who was, from Korea, but really made it globally. And that's something that I heard a lot. It was like a local project, or not a local project, but, someone from Korea who really had enormous success on the global stage. And I think that was really inspiring to crypto founders in Korea. And I think that's why his downfall was so traumatizing for people. I think also, there's some other elements here too. The Korean local media reported that there were something like 200,000 local victims of the crash in Korea. That's obviously a lot. So I think, there was a profound impact there. And I think also on regulation, obviously it's very difficult to prove a cause and effect of regulation. But what we do see all over the world is that sometimes there can be this sort of traumatic effect that can really shape the views of regulators in a country. So for example, in Japan, it was the hacks of Mt. Gox and CoinCheck. In the US, I would argue it's FTX, right? You look at regulators in Washington and just how even more nervous they are about crypto. And so I think in Korea, it was similar. You had a presidential administration that came in with a lot of crypto-friendly promises, but that presidential administration came in around the same time of the crash. And since then, many believe that regulation has stalled or been delayed because of the sort of negative sentiment that was caused by the crash.
I love the part where you talk about Do Kwon as being one person who became a global ambassador for South Korea for what he had done, and the other was obviously BTS, the K-pop band. I love that analogy, and you're saying you heard that from the people out there. Tell me a little bit about this. I talked to you about the DNA. This has happened in South Korea. So many investors, retail investors, suffered, and yet they don't seem to have washed their hands off crypto completely, despite what happened. And in fact, there is an optimism going forward that they will return when there's an opportunity. What does one say about that? They've not learned their lesson, they believe regulation has come in and so they are safe, or that they just they always wanted to make quick money?
That's a great question. And I think that's really the point I wanted to make in the article, that the scars of Terra Luna still remain in Korea. I don't think they're completely gone, but this is a very resilient market, and it's a very resilient crypto community. So I think the article ends a little bit on an optimistic note, with which the Korean retail market is showing its force again. We saw that there's a bunch of tokens that seem to have been really buoyed by the power of Korean retail investors. The Korean retail market is one of the biggest in the world. We saw that with XRP specifically. The surge of XRPs clearly was related somewhat to Korean retail traders who were investing heavily in that token. But also, there's a lot of building happening in Korea. There's a really strong gaming community. So I guess the quick answer to your question, which I heard again in the Korean crypto circles, which was just like, we're going to move on. This is not a place where we sort of dwell on what happened a year ago. We got to keep moving on. This is a very fast, competitive market, and we just got to keep moving forward.
I know you don't have a definitive answer, but I'm putting you in the hot seat. Given you were there, empirical, reporting on all that. Where will he go? The U.S. or Korea?
Yeah. I don't know. I think that remains to be seen. I mean, this is going to be a drama that is going to play out for a while. I wish I had an answer to that. I think a lot of people want to know the answer to that. But yeah, I would just be making it up. Yeah.
Well, I won't be watching this space. I'll be watching your articles for that. Well, thanks so much for that, Emily.